I only got one more story and we'll get out of here.
All right. Well, where was the Eddie Trunk explosion? That was it?
That was it.
He didn't explode. Who said he exploded?
Where did you hear that?
I thought you said that at the beginning of the segment. I was waiting for Eddie Trunk to have some fucking harsh thing for Paul Stanley.
No.
He didn't seem to be too upset. He just doesn't think that Paul likes him, which is true. All right, anyway, go ahead.
All right. One last story, we'll get out of here.
Okay.
So, a Florida police officer was taking his 14-year-old child to school in March of 2016 when he spotted a reckless driver.
Okay.
This goes out to John in Philadelphia, who he's disturbed and upset about the Mandarin drivers.
Okay.
It's not just the Mandarin drivers who are bad drivers.
Okay.
This Florida police officer saw a reckless driver on his way to taking his 14-year-old kid to school.
Okay.
Though he wasn't on duty, the Jacksonville, Florida officer tried to pull over Kevin Rojas. Mm-hmm. That's Rojas.
Okay.
Who was then 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Rojas got out of his white Cadillac. Okay. Notice the white privilege attempt there.
Yeah, well, you know, he's entitled. He's not white, so he's allowed to have privilege.
Right. And started shooting at the officer.
Holy smokes.
The officer was sporting a ballistic vest.
Okay, good.
And it said police on it at the time.
Okay.
Rojas's shots missed the officer's son, but ended up hitting the officer 3 times, according to the police.
In the vest or in?
Well, it hit him. It hit him. Didn't specifically say where.
Okay.
The officer shot back, but Rojas fled the scene by stealing another vehicle.
Wow.
And then barricaded himself in a house.
Okay.
Other officers pursued him and shot Rojas 3 times before he was apprehended.
Okay.
So this I'm going to assume he's Spanish.
Yeah. Or
Mexican.
Sure.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was running away from the police, and the police apprehended him after beating his ass or shooting him up.
All right. Sounds good so far.
Hail and kill caller, you're on the air. That's it. That's all he had to say.
Calls.
All right. When the officer spoke at Rojas's sentencing this week, drum roll please, he pulled out a bottle of personal lubricant KY jelly and said, "I brought a little gift for you. You will need this where you're going."
And let me guess, his civil rights were violated, and now he's not gonna fucking go to jail.
No, he was already convicted.
All right.
So the officer who spoke at the sentencing, basically brought him a bottle of KY jelly.
Wow. Let me guess, that guy's no longer on the force.
Well, it didn't say that. Rojas, now 21, was sentenced Wednesday to life in prison.
Okay.
For trying to kill the officer and his son.
Right.
Rojas was also convicted of 2 counts of aggravated assault.
Right.
1 count of grand theft auto. And 1 count of fleeing or attempting to elude the police.
All right.
The officer also said in court that Rojas had been spineless during his encounter, ambushing the officer when he was with his child. "When I brought the fight back, you ran like a coward," the officer said.
Okay.
Rojas had been running away from a fight with his live-in girlfriend when the duty police officer had tried to make the 2016 traffic stop.
Right.
During the trial, the officer described the near-death encounter in detail. When I see the car door opening, I start to look behind me to go open my door. That's when I hear the gunshots and the glass shattering. Okay. When he shoots me in the head, I get a whiplash back. I see the blood spatter. At this time, I know and I realize I'm shot.
Wow.
It will be 25 years before Rojas can be considered for parole. Obviously, that day changed my life, and it will never be the same, the officer said.
This guy took a bullet in the head.
Apparently, he did.
What a fucking man.
The judge handed down the maximum prison sentence for each of the crimes Rojas was convicted of. I'm pretty sure Mr. Rojas doesn't understand what the rest of his life means, Judge James Daniel said on Wednesday.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'm just impressed with this cop. He took one in the head. He should be allowed to fucking taunt this guy with a little KY.
And he did.
Good for him. Good for him. I hope he filled the bottle with glue. Somebody sticks their dick into his ass and it gets stuck there.
Right.
Has to have his fucking whole asshole cut out.
Right.
Fucking piece of shit.
There you go.
Shooting at a cop. What a dick.
Yeah.
Well, good for the cop for being, man, how do you fucking get hit in the head with a bullet and not have it go?
Well, maybe he got grazed.
JFK.
Well, maybe he got grazed.
Yeah, he must have got grazed because I've watched enough JFK documentaries to know that bullets don't generally just fall off.
Yeah, he could have got grazed like on the top or the side of his head or something.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good on him. And good on him for taunting this fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, pal.
You're going to need this where you're going.
Yeah, fuck stick.
Yeah. See, even as an officer of the law, I'm still compassionate just to at least bring this to you, knowing that your asshole is going to get torn to shreds.
Yeah, that cop wasn't known as Officer Jim, was it?
No, it was not.
Okay. Just making sure it wasn't Officer Jim. I could see him doing that.
Yeah. So, there you go. An officer bringing some KY to the courtroom.
That's funny. I wonder if people laughed or if they gasped in horror.
Of course they were in horror.
Don't you think somebody laughed?
Of course they did.
You got to think somebody fucking giggled. So I'd have been rolling. That'd have been great.
They gasped in horror.
Hey, good on that guy. I'm with him.
Hey, you're going to need this where you're going, pal.
Yeah, pal.
All right, that's going to wrap up another Classic Metal show.
Quickest show ever.
Yeah, it went by fast.
Well, it's because we only did 4 fucking segments.
We did.
You're going to have a bitch of a time cutting this bitch
out.
up.
Not really. It'll be four 1-hour segments, no show on Friday.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, because we have some distinct topics.
Oh, I understand. Believe me, I've never had a problem cutting the show up.
I'm glad you like it.
It's not that I like it. It's just it gets done. Just gets done.
It drives me crazy trying to find the right place to cut. And I get sucked into it like I do everything else. I should be just like pop, 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 done.
I think the fans who listen to the podcast or download the segments, they like what they hear.
Yeah, well, it seemed to. They sure as fuck downloaded enough.
Yeah, and I like the fact that sometimes I can come up with some segment titles that get under people's skin.
Oh, you mean like the
climate change segment?
Yeah, the climate change one. Where I got told I was uneducated.
Yeah, you're uneducated. You didn't do your research, pal.
Yeah, pal.
So I tried to help you out with that, and I noticed you posted that link.
Yeah, I did, of course.
Yeah, of course you got no reply.
Of course not. How dare I fucking actually throw research at him where he looks like a dickhead.
Right.
Whatever. I love the YouTube hate.
Yeah. I can't tell if this is just satire, if you guys are just dumb.
But even with that, I still had to ban, I think, 3 or 4 guys this week for threats. Every week there's threats. It's like, I don't care if they say we're stupid, but, don't tell me you're going to fucking kill me. Don't be that big of a pussy.
Yeah. You guys are just dumb.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because you don't agree with my thoughts.
That's right. You didn't do your research, man.
Right.
Like we're doing a fucking educational show.
Yeah, a news show.
Which is what I always write back. It's like, if you're getting your news from us, you're fucking really fucked up.
Right.
Why would you listen to us to get news? That's just dumb. It's just two dumbasses' opinions on shit. If you don't like it, don't listen, you fuck faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, pal.
You're not allowed to have that opinion because it goes against what I think.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're going to get out of here. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in, been a part of the show. Want to thank the Burt Show.
Yeah, thanks.
For supplying us with 90 minutes worth of, content.
Of Burt.
The Burt Show.
The Burt Show.
Yeah. I want to thank High Volume Music because we are at their top of their list.
Yes.
As shows that support Every Mother's Nightmare.
Yep.
And as you know, I've always been a Every Mother's Nightmare fan, and I'm glad to see them doing well with their latest release called Grind.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to close the show with a live version.
All right.
Of Push, which originally comes from the Smokin' Delta Voodoo release.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Rick Rule and the boys doing it live.
We go.
You can find this on Grind on the High Volume Music release.
Cool.
All right, we're going to get out of here. We will be back next Saturday. We will do this thing all over again. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in. Have a safe and enjoyable week. And this is Neely, along with my very good friend,
Chris Hagan.
And we are gone.
Hey, this is Rick Rule from Every Mother's Nightmare, and you're listening to Chris and Neely on the Classic Metal Show. Crank it up.